What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Gigasource Gigapower Guttur, their version of a G1 Snarl. So this is a weathered version. It's got some extra paint detail and stuff on it. I did look at the Gigapower Grimlock a while back, Super Tour, and that was pretty cool. I did compare it as well with the Fans Toys. We're going to take a look at this one just on its own. We will do a versus. I guess, let me know in the comments if you want to see a versus, but I'm probably going to do a versus. But today we're just going to look at this guy, and there's a lot to look at in terms of paint. But one thing I wanted to say is I showed you images of the box as we started, and it says box art by Spike Art, and apparently Spike Art was the same company that did the box art for Fans Toys Scoria. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know. I guess maybe they picked them up and, that's just odd that they did two different companies' art for Dinobots. Anyway, let's take a quick 360 on this guy. The paint is just outstanding. It's really something to look at. So let's go all the way around. I'll put the G1 cartoon over there as we do this. You can see there's a lot of that, weathered kind of detail all over. You can see it's kind of burnt look, or like battle damage kind of stuff. I mean, it really is impressive. If you just look on certain parts too, you can see there's, well, at first glance looks like a scratch, but it's actually this weathered detail you got there. So that's pretty cool. By the way, this was sent to me by Ian Acid. He's the guy who started up the new supply company for those various battle effect or blast effects that I've been showing off. I showed one for Jetfire and another one for the Make Toy Seeker. So thank you for sending this to me, Ian. But continuing on, let's take a look at some other details. There's a lot of detail on this thing. So if you look at the chest here, you can see there's a lot of painted detail in there as well. All that. I thought maybe this panel comes off, but it doesn't. But I mean, look at that. Look how much paint is in there. And then you open these up and there's even more paint. All these little details. You got these little whatever. You do get this head. This is the standard head it comes with blue eyes. And again, this is painted all the way around. You also get a secondary head. And so this is the red eyes. And that looks pretty cool. I prefer the blue eyes head, but this one's got kind of a different expression on it. But nice that they give you the alternate head. It's basically on a ball joint. Just pop it off here. It is a little bit tight, but you can get it. And well painted as well. The head is also weathered, but really quite beautiful. So let's take a look at the articulation. So the head, actually let's get up a little higher so you can see what I'm doing. The head does go up a tiny bit and down a tiny bit. If you open this panel up, you can get it down a little bit more, but that's really the transformation. So not a lot there. You do rotate all the way around, but pretty much almost no up and down movement there on either head. Neither head really gets a lot of movement. You do get a little bit of articulation on these wings, so you can go in and out like that. And you can also do that. So if you wanted it a little bit more back, you could. I think the best look for it is something like that. Okay, you get the shoulders that go up to there. They do rotate all the way around, and you can move those wings out of the way. So pretty nice ratchet joints there. I have noticed the Gigapower uses ratchets for all of their shoulder joints. No ratchet on this elbow. You get I guess it's a soft ratchet, so you get 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, and then you get 90 degrees. You get a rotation at the bicep. The hand is individually articulated fingers. They're very tight. I think it's because of the paint, but the thumb is on a ball joint, single joint, and then each finger has 2 joints, one here and one at the base. So you can get them in. You can get him pointing because he's got the hand that supports that, which is nice. I like that. So overall, pretty good hands there. On par with what I would consider Fans Toys. I really like their hands, and this is kind of similar to that. Moving downwards, you do have a rotation at the waist. Is very, very tight. So the paint kind of I guess makes it even tighter. You do have a nice rotation. No ab crunch on there, but this figure you wouldn't expect an ab crunch anyway. All of these hip skirts go up. They do feel nice and solid. They don't feel like the Super Tour. Super Tour was a little bit, it felt a little bit weak. These feel nice and strong. The leg goes all the way up to there, all the way back to there. Again, it's a soft ratchet, hard ratchet to the out. It's all the way up to there. Really nice, strong ratchets everywhere. Everything holds really well. I don't see any issues at all with these legs. Rotation at the thigh, also needed for transformation, but you get a nice rotation. 90-degree bend at the knee gets you up to there. You do have an ankle tilt. It's a little bit of a fake, so you can get the toe and this bottom part of the heel bent, so you can get them out wide like that. But the rest of the leg doesn't. But it works and it does its job. So at first this was so tight I didn't think it was actually a toe tilt, but it is. So you can get this. You can get both sides, pretty wide. You just have to kind of work it because it's pretty tight. But he can go pretty wide because of those feet, which is nice. And then no tilt the other direction. I guess you could mess with this, but I guess you do get a little bit of toe tilt up. There you go. So you get a little bit of toe tilt up. So if you wanted him walking, you could do that. So pretty nice articulation for a big guy like this. He really moves a lot. I was kind of surprised. At first, I thought he didn't have that ankle tilt, but he does. It does come with accessories, so you get the expected sword. It's got this translucent red. It does light up. I don't have the batteries in it. There's buttons right here. And you also get the gun. Same thing. It's got a button right here that you can push. And they both look good. They're both, again, weathered paint on both of these. And then the red part is just a translucent red. So there he is with the sword and the gun. Both look good. They do have that nice paint on them. The paint does kind of get in the way of getting it into the hand securely. Once you wrap the fingers around, it does stay pretty well. You also get this, which I guess it works a little better in the dyno mode, but you can mount this in a couple different places. So on the side of the arms, you could put it there. There's a little tab here that you fold out, and you can stick that right there. There's kind of a side arm cannon. You can also get it in here if you work at it a little bit. You can get it up into the side here, kind of like a shoulder cannon, which is interesting. There you go. And so now he's got a shoulder cannon. It doesn't really articulate, but it does sit in there, so you can get that look if you like. So pretty nice. They give you a lot of stuff. I don't remember ever seeing this in a cartoon, but it's cool that they give you that option. If you like it, if you want it, you can use it. All right, so there is all the accessories that you can use in this mode. For a quick size comparison, there he is with the Transform Element Optimus Prime. Looks pretty good. He towers over him, and the Dinobots should be big. How much bigger is always question, eye of the beholder kind of thing. I think it looks fine in terms of scale, but there you go. That's really it. Let's get him transformed. So go ahead and take off all of the accessories before we treat him transformed. Again, the paint, there is a lot of paint on this guy, so you do want to be a little bit careful, but I haven't found that it's too delicate or anything like that. Go ahead and straighten out the feet and get it kind of back straight with the foot. And we can probably start with the arms, since those are pretty easy. So go ahead and straighten this out. And we're going to take and open up these panels. And you may need a spudger. It does tab in on both sides, but go ahead and open up those tabs. And I am already having trouble, so I'm just going to use a spudger. Get that in there, and that'll allow you to open up that panel. Same on here. Go ahead and get a spudger in there, and then you'll see there's the claw in there. So fold that out, and you'll see there is a little bit of what do you call it, styrofoam coming out of here. All right, go ahead and peg that back in. You'll see there's a peg, and that's going to peg into his arm. So get that back in, and then fold out the toe, and we've got one arm ready. Oh, sorry, one more thing. And then you got to collapse this. Now we've got one arm ready. So go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We'll do that off camera. Now that we got the arms taken care of, we can start working on the legs. Actually, you know what? Let's work on this upper part here. That's pretty easy. So go ahead, pull this away, open up this front chest. Again, if you need a spudger, go ahead, but it should be pretty easy enough. Tuck the head down in, and then close that panel up, and tab that back in, and then close this down onto here. And then take these, and these are going to peg together. You can see the two pegs here are going to fit in. So go ahead and peg that back together and leave that there for now. So next we're going to take care of the legs. The legs are pretty simple. So go ahead and just turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to fold the toes in. And we're going to detach this little panel here. So there's a little panel that's stuck into the foot, and we're going to pull that out. Go ahead and open this up. Pull this panel out, which is where you're going to store that little piece. And if you can't get it open, just get a spudger and pop that panel open. Oh, actually, there's a little tab here, so you can grab that tab. All right. And that's going to fold inside the foot. Close that up. And that's going to sit just like that. And then we're going to take care of the rest of this. So go ahead and pull this down. And then this away this way. And just make sure you clear everything here. And leave it kind of down this way so you have a little space. And we are going to rotate this around and put it back down. And now we want to fold the leg inwards. Make sure you get all these hip skirts inwards before we do that. We have to rotate the waist. And now we're going to make sure this gets into that spot. And it should tab right in into that little location there. And this part should also go underneath, so if you didn't get that in, then just make sure you adjust. There we go. And then press that in. That should just tab right in right here. And that's one side. So go ahead and get this side taken care of. We're going to do that off camera. So you have both legs done. You should have something like this. I didn't push it together just so you could see there's a whole bunch of tabs there. So you're going to get those pushed together all the way up to the head and work your way from the front to the back, and you can just squeeze it together. Make sure you have these feet pushed forward, and they should kind of look like that. And make sure you have these side bars pressed in to the sides. That's kind of what holds it in. Go ahead and fold the arms down on the front. So you got that. So there he is in his Stegosaurus mode. Looks really nice. There's a lot of paint detail. Let's take a look at the paint detail so you get all of that same detail you had in robot mode, but a little bit more. I mean, look at all the colors. And you can see there's a little bit of that styrofoam in there. It just sticks so much to it. But you got red and gray and blue and black and silver and chrome, and it's crazy. And then if you look at, so let's just get close up on this leg so you can kind of see some of the detail. They have like a dirt wash. You know, it looks like he got dirty and, you know, he's playing in the dirt. This one actually looks a little bit better. Yeah, he's got a lot of details. So the paint is really, really quite impressive. You know, you get a lot for details and stuff like that. Overall, pretty good looking dyno mode. I really like it. There are a couple accessories they can use in this mode. Actually, let's go over his articulation before we do that. So go ahead, you can open up his mouth. He does have the cannons in there, and there are two individually articulated ones. And there you go, there he's spitting fire. The head does rotate a little bit, not a whole lot, but you get that much. The arm rotates here, and you get a little bit of outward movement, so you can get that posing. You do get the leg here, and it's a very tight, but it's a soft ratchet, but it's tight. And then this one is also on a ratchet, so you can get that one bent. And then the toe does pivot there. The rear legs, they rotate on that same ratchet that we had for the robot mode. You have a rotation at the thigh, you have a tilt at the ankle that gets you back to there, and then you have a toe tilt up, and you get a ankle tilt all the way back. So good articulation overall. Oh, I forgot the tail. So you get a tiny bit of movement in the tail, just that little bit there. So pretty cool looking overall in this mode. I like what they did with it. Now, you can also mount the weapons. This is a little feature they gave in. Actually, not the... maybe this is intended for this. I haven't figured out exactly what this is for, but you get this little translucent piece. I'm imagining it's some kind of mount, so you can put this on here. I don't know. I haven't figured out what this is. If somebody knows in the comments, but I think it's to put the sword on and then mount the sword as a weapon. But you can also take these other weapons we had in the robot mode. You can plug those in. There's a little slot on both legs. Same with the gun. You can pull out that little tab there, and you can plug that in right here, so you can have that look. So nice that they give you that weapon storage. Nice that you can store everything away. You also have these alternate headpieces, so you can put, if you want the G1 look, you can take this part and put that on his neck, and then you can take this part and put that on his head. It just kind of sits there. It still opens up, and now you have that smoked glass look like the G1 toy. So pretty cool overall. It's nice that they give you all those little accessories, and they all work in the robot, in the night out mode. Overall, pretty nice. He does have the blue eyes. You can't change those eyes out. They're just painted blue. So that's really it for the Dyno mode. We're going to get this guy back into his robot mode, and then we'll give you final thoughts. So final thoughts on this guy. Pretty cool. So the paint is really nice. I do like all the detail and the sculpting. There really is undoubtedly the most paint I've seen on a figure. It's just very well painted. The articulation is nice. It's got some pretty good articulation. I do find that the legs are a little tight and they're a little finicky, but you can get them posed, and you can get those ankles solid on the ground. So I appreciate when a Dinobot can actually pose and be solid and not move. I remember Super Tour, you really couldn't get the feet flat on the ground because he didn't have ankle tilt. This guy does, and so you can do that, and I really like that. I appreciate putting in the effort to make sure he can have this ankle tilt so he can be solid. I really like the look of the robot mode and the vehicle mode. It is pretty big, so depending on the scale that you want, this might be too big for you. It might be the right size. It all depends on what you prefer. All of this stuff is pretty sturdy. I didn't see anything that was going to break. Nothing felt like it was Super Tour. There were a couple spots here and there that did feel kind of weak, especially like the hip skirts. There was a very small tabs to hold, or not tabs, but little ball joints to hold in the hip skirts. These are pretty nice and sturdy and robust. I don't feel anything that's not. So highly recommend it. Definitely a good set to pick up, at least so far. We haven't seen them all yet, but at least the two that they put out, really good. Recommend them. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching. I will be doing a versus, so with this guy, that's coming up, and I don't want to give anything away just yet. I might be changing my versus format too. I've been thinking about that, but we will do a versus so you can see kind of the differences between these two guys. All right, and that's really it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.